to ask you a very serious question, T.
Alright, what's up?
How come every time I come to your place, you never have any food?
And I got a very serious answer for you, because you too cheap to bring some. Anyway, I'll order some pizza. I'll go pick it up right after I finish spanking you. Got me feeding you and spanking you. Feel like I'm raising you. You won't leave here calling me daddy.
Yeah, all right. Only reason you're winning is because you gave me the bad controller.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Freshman.
Nice 12-string jazz axe, Tony. After all these years, I never knew you could play.
Nah, that's not mine. I'm just holding it for someone. But that reminds me, I know you can play. Man, I wish I could play like you. Plus, you write some excellent songs, man. I don't hear you on the Christian radio yet, though. I remember you telling me that you felt like that was your calling, but that was years ago. So, what's up with that?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm ready yet. I mean, who am I? I hear people so much better than me.
Alright. Check that out. I'll be back in a few.
Okay, T. Take this 20, and don't forget the soda. Man, what's with you and these comics? It was a military experiment gone wrong. A lethal virus was accidentally released in several highly populated areas across the country. This airborne biokiller would attack a person's central nervous system and render them completely incapacitated within 6 hours. That was the only indication that the person was infected. Even though the virus has been contained, many thousands were exposed and thousands died. Upon the first sign of infection, the individual would be taken to one of several containment towns designated CT0 to CT9, where they would wait for the vaccine. It was extremely vital for the vaccine to be administered within 24 hours of the initial symptoms, or the infected would not survive. The mortality rate of the infected stands at 99.9%. BioWin Pharmaceuticals is the only company capable of producing this life-saving vaccine for immediate delivery to the containment towns. There was only one problem. BioWin Pharmaceuticals lacked the transportation needed to handle the task. Early the next morning, a phone call was made by a man named Ted Peters to the CEO of BioWin Pharmaceuticals. Ted is the owner of a successful trucking company. He was willing to deliver the medicine to CT0 through CT9 within 24 hours, free of charge. Ted had more than enough trucks and drivers to reach the towns, but he was looking for only the top drivers for this important task. Out of the 10 drivers, Ted wanted to pick one in particular.
Joe, who's that big guy with the clipboard?
Oh, you mean Keith?
Yeah, what do you know about him?
Good man. Comes to work on time, takes pride in his appearance, keeps his rig spotless. Never had a problem with him.
Do me a favor. Give him CT9, okay?
Keith was a dynamic individual. Ex-military, top of his class in defensive driving, excels in everything he does. He constantly corrects his peers and neighbors on how they should handle anything from home gardening to work-related issues. Keith always feels that he has the best solution for any situation.
Got a grease stain on my shirt trying to teach Jack the proper way to fix a flat. I'll just change, have a quick sandwich, and be on my way.
But there's one thing Keith didn't seem to understand. He couldn't understand why some of his neighbors didn't welcome his friendly advice, and why some of them were even spiteful.
Oh no! Why would these guys throw mud on my rig? I can't be seen driving down the road like this. What would the boss think?
Keith drove quickly back to the warehouse and painstakingly washed the mud from his vehicle.
CT9 is only a few hours away. I still have time. I don't want the boss to look at me and think I'm irresponsible. He's counting on me to set a good example for the others to follow. I'll just take 5 minutes to run in, take a quick shower, and change. I don't want to go to CT9 looking like a slob and smelling like a wet puppy.
This time Keith was going to outsmart his spiteful neighbors.
I'll show these guys. I'll just take my shower and change right here in the shop. I better add a coat of wax just in case. Wow, I'm beat, but I'm gonna have to fly like the wind if I'm gonna make this drop on time. Oh no! I fell asleep.
All the drivers returned, worn and dirty, but they've accomplished their mission. Each driver was honored one by one. They were greeted with a hearty handshake, a raise, a $5,000 bonus, and the rest of the week off. Keith had a big problem. What would he tell his boss? He needed an excuse, something believable, along with something that would even make himself appear honorable in the eyes of his boss.
Well, sir, I know that you're a very demanding man and you take pride in this company. Therefore, I was very careful to look as professional as possible. I knew that if I drove a filthy truck down the highway, it would reflect on your character, not to mention the great pride you have in your drivers. So I didn't make the delivery because I didn't want to mar your reputation. Here's the inventory of the vaccines, all ready for the next shipment.
So, you didn't make the CT9 delivery because you were trying to impress the boss? You thought it was more important to look perfect in his eyes rather than doing what he told you to do. Yeah. All right, get out of here. Wait for me downstairs. Man, what were you thinking? If you had a problem with the run, you should have just called me. If you just did what you were told, Ted would have forgiven your imperfections. All the drivers had dirty rigs. All the drivers were filthy. But Ted still shook their hands and even hugged Jenna because they all got the job done. I chose them because they're good. He chose you because he saw something special in you. But you were so caught up trying to be perfect for him that you missed the whole point of him giving you the truck and supply of vaccine in the first place. So now, clean out your locker, turn in your keys, and leave. You're done. Because you missed the point, dozens of lives have been destroyed. Oh, and by the way, you want to know why Ted passed out? 24 hours ago, his wife and child were placed in CT9.
Wow. Tony, I don't know where you get these weird comics from, but I get it. Man, I hate to think that's what I'm doing with what God has given me. This reminds me of the dude that buried his talent, or when Samuel told Saul to obey is better than sacrifice. But I guess that was the point, huh?
I know the book is a little over the top, but the principle is the same. Like the guy who was given the truck and medicine. God has placed a gift in each of us, something that we're good at. And he did it for a reason, you know? It's designed to be used and shared to help others. You know, for some it's speaking, some it's poetry, writing, or photography. For some it's singing, drawing, finances, you know, whatever, you name it. You might not think you're good enough, but God may want to use those words in your song to help someone at just the right time, when they really need to hear those words. Let him use that talent to speak to others, man. Think about when that's happened to you. Do me a favor, Ax. Promise me that you'll dust off those old songs and do something with them. Like, tomorrow.
Okay, I promise, but only on one condition. I get to use the good controller this time.
Man, you've been using a good controller, scrub.